साजना राखो राखन हार दयाला राखो राखन हार दयाला राखो राखन हार दयाला राखो राखन हार दयाला नानक घर के बोले सजन सुहेले साजना तुम्हारी शरण तुम्हारी आशा सजन सुहेले सजन सुहेले साजना तुम्हारी शरण तुम्हारी आशा तुम ही सजन सुहेले सजन सुहेले सजन सुहेले सजन सुहेले सजन सुहेले सजन सुहेले सजन सुहेले।
What we are missing is the resonance of our own self, the sound of our own self, which we haven't touched upon yet. That when we put our attention there, you concentrate it there, you can hear many sounds, not external sounds, but internal sounds. These sounds can be of many kinds. They can be like a whistling sound, they can sound like a breeze coming through, it can be like a sound of a roar outside, like a thunder. It can be sound like drums beating. It can be sound like crickets chirping. It can be sound of birds chirping. It can be sounds of little bells ringing. It can be sound of big bells ringing. It can be sound of the echo of a bell ringing. It can be the sound of a continuous flute playing. It can be sound, many kinds of sounds. A whole bunch of sounds is also in us. The more you concentrate your attention, the many of these sounds will start appearing. You can listen to these sounds and play with them, moving from one to the other. Some sounds will look very close to you, some will look at a distance from you. You can first listen to the sounds that are very close to you. Then you can shift to the sounds that are further away from you. And as you move with the sounds, some of the sounds will have a pull which will take you, automatically pull your attention faster from the body and put you right there than other sounds. So pick up those sounds which are pulling you. Now that is another system, and that is ultimately going to make your withdrawal of attention faster than your own trying to repeat the words or trying to pull your attention there or pretending that you are sitting there, imagining you are sitting there. These are like two different methods. I liken them to a rear-wheel drive car and a front-wheel drive car. A rear-wheel drive car pushes the car forward. The engine is loaded so that it pushes the car. Front-wheel drive pulls the car. When we do repetition of words, try our best to put there, imagine we are there, we are pushing ourselves in. When the sound comes and pulls us, we are being pulled up there. Ultimately, it's the love and the sound that will pull us finally. Ultimately, love and sound pulls us all the way through. Sound keeps on changing. It becomes a non-sound. It becomes a resonance. Then it even doesn't remain resonance, just a very big force, creative force that pulls us through. So when we want to go above the mind, only this resonance and the love and devotion we are expressing will take us. No other method will take us beyond that. Other methods we are using is only to reach that threshold from where we can move forward.
Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to today's satsang. So today's song is by Stephanie. You are becoming the song of your heart. Today's talk is by Michael. The introduction. The talk is by Rohitji. Topic is listening to Shabad. Dhun, the melody of sound current. Bhajan, Maharaj Savan Singh Ji. Then we'll have a short dhyan session of 5 minutes to put our attentions towards our beloved. Then we'll play Master's YouTube video, and then we'll do group meditation with love and devotion. Thank you so much. So Stephanie, you can start with your song.
You are becoming the song of your heart. How beautiful it is, how beautiful it is, as the flower blossoms forth. Feel the earth in your toes. Oh, my child, you'll never know what tomorrow brings. So sing, sing, sing. You are becoming the song of your heart. How beautiful it is, how beautiful it is, as the flower blossoms forth. Rise before the morning light, let your soul take its flight. God is with you listening, so sing, sing, sing. You are becoming the song of your heart. How beautiful it is, how beautiful it is, as the flower blossoms forth. Hand in hand we shall go through the grassy hills of gold. See the harp circling, we sing, sing, sing. You are becoming the song of your heart. How beautiful it is, how beautiful it is. You are
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to satsang. Welcome to the sweet presence of our Holy Master, where we all gather every day to sit in His sweetness, to sit in His love, and to sit in His grace. It is just the best thing to be with the Master and to serve the Master and bring His presence. Where two or more gather in my name, there I am. The best conversations I usually have with Master and Father God are in the bathroom. And sometimes when I'm taking a shower, I'm like, oh Lord, my hands are cleaning me from the outside, but I cannot clean myself from the inside. I offer my soul to you. I'm full of ego, I'm full of garbage, and the 5 enemies are still in me. Here I offer my head. Please clean my soul. As the Master is the only one that can clean us from within. And His presence, coming to do His seva, and meditating and offering ourselves to Master is the way to clean our inner self. That when we offer ourselves to Master, then He can clean us. So it is in offering ourselves is the secret. We have to offer ourselves. Out of the 24 hours, we have to offer as much as possible for the inner cleanliness. As the outer cleanliness, it is good. Cleanliness is godliness, as the saints and masters say, but also the inner cleanliness to make our heart white and to make our soul shiny is very, 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 very important on the spiritual on the spiritual path. It is there is a story. I don't know if I've ever told you this story, but there was a man in India who was with his master, and he believed. This man believed that going to the Ganges River and taking a bath in the Ganges River is going to bless him and clean him. And the master, understands the inner state of the disciple and lets them do sometimes what they have to do, but later comes the lesson. So he told the disciple, okay, there is a fruit I want you to take with you. And this fruit is called, in India, they call it tombi fruit. And it's bitter from the inside. So he gave it to the disciple, and he told the disciple, when you take a bath in the Ganges, please also wash this fruit and bring it back to me. And the disciple didn't understand why this is happening, but he said, okay, since the master asked me, I will obey. I will obey, and I will take the tombi fruit with me. So he went and he took a bath in the holy river, in the river Ganges, and then he washed the fruit, and he took the fruit back to the master, and he gave it to the master, and he said, Master, I obeyed your commandment, and whatever you said I did, and I washed the fruit, and here is the fruit. So master gave it back to him, and he said, okay, please open it and eat the inside. And the disciple said, but it is bitter from the inside. It is very, very bitter from the inside. And the master said, no, but you washed it in the holy Ganges, and it should be good now from the inside. And the disciple took a taste of it, and it was very, very bitter. And the master taught him a lesson this way, that you cannot cleanse your inner self by just taking a bath in a river outside. It might cleanse your outer body, but it will never cleanse your inner body. That your inner body we have to offer to the master, as the master is the only one who can clean us from within. And it is this is the journey of spirituality, the journey of the soul, the journey of love, is that in order to become love, we have to offer our heart, we have to offer our soul, we have to offer our mind and our body to the one who cleans us, to the one who polishes us, and the alchemist of the souls who changes us into himself ultimately. So outer cleanliness is important, and but it is the inner cleanliness. As all the religions do the rituals, the outer rituals of and they don't tell us to go inside. And the outer rituals, they might create some good karma that might take us to the heavens if we have done an outer ritual in the name of a dead master, but it might create some good karma that will take us to some time in the heavens, but it will not release us from the cycle of reincarnation, and it will not clean our soul. As our soul, the only thing that can clean our soul is the holy Shabd, the psalm, the celestial music, that harmonious sound that comes from within, that comes from the kingdom of God. And once we catch hold of it, then it harmonizes us, it starts to clean us, it starts to bring joy to us, it starts to pull us to its source. As it will keep pulling us and pulling us and pulling us to where it's coming from, and that is God and the kingdom of God. I wanted to tell you a story about the three fish. Three big fish were living in a lake, and they were very, very happy living there. One of them was a very wise fish, and she was the intelligent fish, and the other one was half wise. And the half wise fish, she always clung to the intelligent fish. And she said, if I am half intelligent, I better cling to the intelligent one and then get the knowledge from the intelligent one. So she was always clinging to the intelligent one and getting advice from the intelligent one and living according to what the intelligent one tells her. Even, see, that's our situation too, because we are maybe half or quarter wise or 10% wise, but if we hold hands with the wise one, then we can go on the right path, as the wise one will tell us how to go to the right path. So then there was also another fish, the third fish, and that was the unintelligent fish. And the unintelligent fish, she always took her own decisions, she always took her own ways, and she always wobbled left and right wherever the sea of life took that fish. And one day, while they were swimming and enjoying the lake, a fisherman came and he spread his nets. All of them got concerned, and the wise fish at once said, I'm not staying here. This is not my home. I am going to the ocean. And so I'm going to the ocean. This is not my real country. Where is our real country? Our real country is not where we are now, but where we are heading to. That is our real country, not where we are now, but where we are heading to. And that's how she was thinking, the wise one, that this lake is not my country. My country is where I'm heading to, and I'm heading towards the ocean. She directly started going towards the ocean, and she suffered a lot on her way, just like when wild dogs follow a deer and the deer is running into the jungle, he suffers a lot, but she ultimately reached the limitless ocean. And when she was going, she said, before she went, she said, I'm not going to take advice of these two fish because they think that the lake is their country. And if you want to take advice from a traveler. Don't take advice from somebody who never traveled and who doesn't want to travel. This also has a deep meaning that when we are on the spiritual path, on the path of love, don't take advice from the worldly people. They will lead you in the wrong direction. Don't ever take advice from somebody who is not a traveler and who doesn't want to travel. They will tell you the wrong way. And I have tried it my own self, taking advice, trying to take, because I was surrounded, I was like the only one initiated by a perfect master. And all my friends, all my friends were worldly friends in the beginning. And I was trying to get advice from them, and they always gave me the wrong advice. So the wise fish knew what's happening, and she said, I'm not taking advice from those two fish who think the lake is their country, the lake is their home. My home is where I'm heading to. My home is the ocean, and if I need advice, I will ask a traveler who's going towards the ocean. So then, that wise one left to the ocean. Now, the second fish, the fish that was half intelligent, started grieving, and missing the guidance of her wise fish that left. But remember, what is over is over. Never grieve. Do not grieve over what is past. Never regret what has happened. Never cry over spilled milk. This is what the saints and masters tell us, that what happened in the past has happened, and it has to happen for a certain way. So don't ever grieve. Don't ever grieve for the past and think of the future. So or the present. So this half intelligent fish who missed the fish that went to the ocean, started to connect to connect her soul, to connect her mind, to connect her love with the wise fish. And the message came to her. A message came to her to act that she is dead, and to act that she is dead, and then she will escape the net. So she wobbled. So she just like flopped over like upside down, and acted and floated up and acted as if she is dead. And the fisherman looked at her and he said, "Oh my God, what a big waste." And he picked her up and he said, "What a big waste that this fish is dead. I could have caught that fish." And he threw her back in the water. So she kept acting as dead, and she escaped the fisherman's net. And this is also another advice to us, to learn how to die. Learn to die so you can begin to live. Learn to die before you actually die. And if we learn how to die before we actually die, then we can escape the net of the negative power. As those who rise above body consciousness, those who learn how to die before the real death comes, are the ones that free their soul, are the ones that escape the net, and escape the net of the negative power, the net of Maya, the net of reincarnation, the net of suffering, another birth, another death, and the net of the heavens and the hells, and the cycle of 84,000 species. That to learn how to die before the real death is the greatest thing. Now we go back to the third fish, and the third fish thought that she was clever, and thought that she, when the net was put on her, thought that she could overcome the net, and she started with her cleverness and muscles going left and right, but the net kept closing on her and closing on her and closing on her. And then she was caught and she was put in the frying pan. While she was in the frying pan, she started to wonder, she started to imagine the limitless ocean, and how she, in the next time, how she would have went to the, how she would have freed herself if she have listened to the wise fish. And in her next chance, she will also not stay in the limitless, in the limited, and go to the limitless. Not stay in the lake and go to the ocean. You know, but some moths do the same mistake. They always go to the burning candle and burn themselves time and time over again. And the worldly people, you know, sometimes go through the heavens and the hells and come back again, and they forget about the limitless ocean, and they keep getting caught again into the limited. And I see so many, like this foolish fish, the unwise fish. I see so many people in this world, and I talk to them. And I was talking to one yesterday, who was a worldly man, who was boasting about, telling me about all the houses he has built, and all the money he has earned, and how he is enjoying it. And I was trying to say that wealth is from within. That wealth is from within, but he didn't want to listen. And you cannot really, can you like throw pearls and jewels to like chicken or swine? They won't understand what it is. So I kept my mouth shut, but inside me, I felt sorry. I felt sorry for this man, that he is like boasting with big ego about his worldly achievements. And he's an old man now. Soon death will overcome him, and he has not learned how to die before dying. He did not learn how to die and how to collect the godly wealth, and he is gonna leave this world barehanded and barefooted with all the karma that he has collected. And I could see that he has collected a lot of karma. You know, so what is the best virtue that the saints and masters say? What is the best virtue? The best virtue is, what is it? Truthfulness. Truthfulness is the best virtue. When our heart, our brain, and our mouth, when our heart, our brain, and our mouth are in unison with each other, then this is truthfulness. This is truthfulness when the three are in unison with each other. But if our heart is saying something, our mind is saying something else, and our mouth is speaking something else, then this is not truthfulness. This is called hypocrisy. This is called pretense or flattery. You know, this is not truthfulness. And this is what the saints and masters ask from us. They ask for truthfulness. Because why? Because God lives everywhere. God is inside of us, and He's overhead, and He sees everything. So we are to be truthful to the one who lives in us, to the one who sees every action. And that is why the saints and masters say that introspection is something that is really good, and to show our inner self to the master. A lot of people go to the outer master and they try to deceive him. They try to lie to him. They think that he doesn't know everything, that he doesn't live inside of them too, because the outer master is a reflection of the inner master, and they're both in unison with each other, and they have contact with each other, and the outer master knows everything about us, even more than what we know ourselves. So some people, they don't know who the outer master is. Even people who live with the master, people who are always with the master, they are blocked. They don't know. They look at him as a worldly man. They look at him as a regular man. They don't see because he also has a body like us. He also has a mind like us. He has intellect like us. But his awareness is on all levels. But they don't see that. They look at him as mind, body, and intellect, and they look at him as a regular man, and that's why the flow is blocked. Yet somebody who lives thousands of miles away, but is receptive and is in tune with the frequency of God, with the frequency of Master, gets much, much more blessed with one moment if he sees the Master for once a year, and then goes back, but he is receptive. His radio station is in tune with the frequency of God, with the frequency of Master. He gets everything from the Master just from that one time he went to see the Master. And those people who are with him, who are blocked, they get nothing, or they get very little, because their frequency is not in tune with the frequency of the Master. So it is good to develop that truthfulness and that receptivity, and tune our inner station with the station of God. And that way we can always get the showers of grace, the showers of mercy. And it is always good to look deep inside of ourselves and know that he is the doer, that we are nothing really. We are puppets, and everything, all the grace is coming from the Master. Always have gratitude for the Master. As once we start to think that we are something, if somebody praises us and we think that we are something, then that is very, very, very dangerous. That could lead to a block that brings the ego up. It puts a block on the flow of the Master, and a retardation to our spiritual progress. This is why the most important thing is to know the truth, who we are and who the heart of hearts is, who Ishwar Puri is, and who are we, that we are only disciples. We are only puppets. We are only a soul in the make, and the Master is everything. He's the one, he's our spiritual doctor. He's the one that cleanses us. He's the one that polishes us. And he's the Alpha, he's the Omega, and he's in between. That he is all in all, and he's all in all in one, and one in all. That is what the Master is, all in one and one in all. And I thank you so much, Master, for the words that you put in my mouth. And I hope and I pray that you will keep cleansing me from within and polishing my soul and my holy family's soul. So one day we will be pure, and we will live in the cleanliness, in the purity of God, in the purity of the kingdom of God, and we will enjoy for eternity. I welcome my very, very, very dear brother that I wait to hear his talk every week, because he has love and devotion for God. My brother Rohit has love and devotion, and he's a true lover of the Master, and his words are true because he loves Master. And anybody who loves Master, we have to listen to their words. If people have love for Master, that means jewels, rubies are coming out of their mouth. Whoever loves Master. And my brother Rohit loves my Holy Father, Ishwar Puri Ji, deeply. I feel that deep love in him, and whatever comes out of his mouth is pearls and jewels of love. So welcome, my dear brother.
Somebody is going to hold his horses. When he wakes up, is he going to ask him, where are my horses? He knows there were no horses. It was his dream. But the person who nudged him into wakefulness, he doesn't say, oh, I have got your horses somewhere. Because he knows that when he said, I will hold your horses, he was doing it to awaken that person. Awakened people, that means mystics, who are awakened to a different level of consciousness. They appear in the dream, and they nudge us in the dream, and they give us this nudge to wake up to a higher level. And they're different kind of nudges. And when they say, we'll help you in this world, yes, oh, I need to have a better job, I need this thing. We ask for all the things from this world. They say, yes, yes, we'll help you in that. And you wake up and find there was nothing at all like that. There was some other world opening up. It's the same thing. There is no difference. These mystics are giving us nudges to wake up. And they participate in our dream. They participate in our regular life. But they are awake. They know that we'll also wake up from this state and discover that this was not real, this was dreamlike. It does not become dreamlike till you wake up. People think that in their dream they can say, we know it's a dream. They cannot know it. If they know it, they are awake. They can say it's a dream. In a dream, one can say it's a dream. I have had those dreams. I know I ran about telling everybody, it's a dream, it's a dream. If it was really I knew, there are nobody to tell it's a dream. So I would, when I wake up, neither I am telling anybody nor there any other people. It was part of the dream. My telling people the truth. I was telling them the truth, that it's a dream. And yet I did not know it was the truth because I was not awake. Therefore, you have to actually awake to know it's a dream. And then people say, how do you know that when you go to a higher level of consciousness, how do you know really it's a higher level of consciousness, not a lower level? How do you know it's a very intense, lucid dream that you're having? It may just be a dream and not a higher level of consciousness. So I give an example that when you go to sleep and have a dream and you wake up in the morning, how do you know you are awake? I have never seen any person getting up, awaking in the morning, pinching himself to see, am I awake? Asking anybody, come and tell me, am I awake? How does he know? How do you know when you are awake in the morning that you are awake? What makes you so certain? Supposing a person comes and says, you are not awake, you are still dreaming. You say, no. If 1,000 people came in the morning and told you, no, you are still dreaming, you are not awake, you will not believe them. The experience of wakefulness carries so much certainty, nobody can challenge it. What's the reason? What's the secret? That you can be so certain that you have woken up. The reason is simple, that when you wake up, you remember that you went to sleep. It's as simple as that. If you forgot that you went to sleep, you'll never know when you are awake and when you are dreaming. We reconnect with another level of consciousness, the wakeful consciousness. When we go to sleep and have a dream, when we wake up, we reconnect with what happened before we went to sleep. And that is such a convincing proof of your being awake. You don't need any other proof from anybody. It's the same thing, identical thing, when you wake up to a higher level of consciousness. When you go to a higher level of consciousness, you reconnect and you find you were always there. That this life that you had here was only a small interruption in your life there. And that gives you a certainty of wakefulness which nothing else can give. It's not that you get evidence from outside or you have to look for somebody else to tell you if you are awake or not. You know it by yourself. There are some things which carry such heavy proof by their very existence that no other proof can ever change it. One is that you exist. If people say you don't exist, how can they say that? Your entire experience, your being there, is proof of itself. Now, nobody needs proof of existence, that you exist. Similarly, nobody needs proof that one has woken up and that one has ended one's sleep. In the same way, when you go to a higher level of consciousness, you need nobody's proof except your own wakefulness that you are really awake to a higher level of consciousness. These levels are not merely just glimpses of something. They awaken you to a life that you have been leading for a long, long time. They awaken you. If you awaken second time, you are able to see the entire series of lives that you have lived. You can see not only this physical life that you had, one dream, you can see all the dreams preceding it. You can even see what is programmed for the future dreams of you. You can see this life and past lives and future lives. If that is the possibility, where does this all happen then? How can you get this kind of straightforward, convincing knowledge, personal knowledge, by going within? Therefore, see the importance of meditation. See the importance of going within and checking out everything. There is no external verification that can ever match your going within and experiencing what the reality is. Of course, there's one difficulty, that if you experience reality and come back into this state, it's very difficult to explain it to people. That's a very big, it's a problem for the mystics. They could never explain, so they had to make stories fitting in with the dream. They tell the whole story of higher consciousness. They tell the story of ultimate oneness by making stories right here, because that's all we can understand here. We understand physical stories. So they make the whole thing look like a physical story. But actually what happens is not possible to explain. Even the yogis who went only to the astral and causal stages, when asked to comment on how does it compare, what does it look like, does it look like the trees and the lakes and all this here, they said nothing of the sort. How can you explain that the embodiment of the soul, which looks like living things here, including human beings, that the embodiment of a soul can be ideas, can be concepts, can be shapes? Now, how would I say, well, I went up to the causal stage and a great meeting with a triangle. I mean nothing here. How can a triangle is not a living person? But when I met the triangle, it was not one triangle. It was all the possible triangles you could ever make. It could be the whole universe created from triangles, and that one triangle was all the triangles. How can I explain it? How can anybody understand it? Therefore, these yogis, when they were asked to describe what they experienced, they said, neti, neti. Not this, not this, not this. They couldn't find anything to compare with. This is something, that there is nothing existing here to compare with those experiences. And yet, as human beings, sitting here, all of us, have the ability to see all this personally, experience it, and know how the worlds have been created, reflection upon reflection. One world reflected into another, third one reflected, becoming slightly different every reflection. These are the levels of consciousness. If you ascend stage by stage, one level after another, all the answers of all the questions come up. You don't have to ask anybody anything. The entire knowledge, possible knowledge, is inside you. Each one of us is carrying this huge, ultimate knowledge inside. There is nobody specially gifted who alone has that knowledge. Please understand, this is a gift given to all human beings. There is no question of any nationality, caste, color of the skin, language you speak, the clothes you wear. It has no significance in that. It doesn't require any particular religion to follow, or any particular society to follow, any particular group to follow. You can follow no group and still find spirituality within you. Therefore, remember, this spiritual path is not a group or a society or something. Do not associate. People are very quick to make small groups. The perfect living masters have never set up a religion, never made a group. They came for humanity, They said the truth is in all of us. We have made groups after that. Look at the history of every religion. I spent a year studying this comparative religion, again at Harvard, the great library. They are carrying all the books in the Widener library. And I found that all religions have come from spiritual teachers who gave the teaching for all humanity, called all human beings as children of the same Creator. And yet we have made small groups and say, that's my God, that's not your God. My God is real, yours is not real. I mean, we are confining ourselves into smaller and smaller groups. Even if people are following one great master of the past. Look at Christianity. Christ came. Today, the 16 denominations I studied following Christ. Christian churches. I'm a Baptist, I don't go to that church. I'm a Methodist, I don't go there. I am so and so. And I saw a book prepared by somebody. He says, I found the ultimate Bible. I said, let me see. I saw a Bible. It says, we have taken quotations from 14 Bibles. Yeah. So I can't believe it. We are following the same. Look at the Muslim, Islam. Prophet Muhammad is one. Allah is one. God is one. And Shias and Sunnis, because of a slight difference in belief or what happened after Muhammad, killing each other every year. In India, before Pakistan was formed, every year during celebrations, they would kill each other in the name of the same God. We have seen this happen. Christian crusades, look at them, what happened. What do we do? Spiritual teachings are for everybody. They teach love. All of them teach love for mankind. And what do? We break into small groups and we make it like it is only meant for us. So we are trying to build things in a dreamlike state in this world, forgetting that the truth lies somewhere and is common for all. At least meditation in the guidance of a perfect living master gives us access to truth that takes us beyond these things. Then you find there's no division. These perfect living masters, they've never cared for what group you belong to. When you see perfect living masters, people come from all over. They follow different groups and they still come to a perfect living master. Because there is no group with him. It's not a group at all. It's not a particular society. It's the path. The path is universal for all mankind. And that is why this is encouraged that if you want to find the truth, go within. Meditation is important. When does it become not important? Now that's also another question. Now don't put the cart before the horse and say, okay, we want to go to the next step. Meditation is too difficult. And some people do that. Then it becomes unimportant when your love and devotion and faith becomes unshakable. When your faith is unshakable and has come through experiences, miracles that you have seen both inside and outside, and comes to a stage that is unshakable faith, then you are relying upon a joint journey with the Master inside. Nothing is needed except the companionship of the Master. Now that stage comes. But it can't come right in the beginning when the mind has all kinds of questions and doubts. You have to resolve them. One big difference between the teachings of perfect living masters and the teachers who are there preaching in religions is the preachers don't allow you to question what they are teaching. They say, this is the text, this is the scripture, accept it. You can't question. Sometimes they consider it a sin to question. Perfect living masters say, question everything. They say, unless you question, you will never proceed forward. You'll never make any advance. Because if you have a question in your head and you don't get an answer, that question will nag you all the time. It'll never make you have any progress. You have to get your question answered. Therefore, the perfect living masters have always said, get your questions answered. Get this doubting mind out of the way. And unless that is out of the way, you will not make progress in meditation. So there's a big difference in the way religion approaches and spirituality approaches the seeker. So here I am talking of the teaching of a perfect living master who says all questions are welcome and you must ask questions. Of course, every person here, because of different karma, different destiny, different life that we are leading, different events packed into our life, we are all different here. Our souls may be the same, the spirit is the same, our life is different. The life has become different because of the covers we are wearing. Our minds are different. Our sense perceptions are different. Our bodies are different. These costumes are different. Therefore, we are different. We look different. Because we are different and we are starting a journey here with these differences, a perfect living master who is dealing with us at this level does not have the same teaching for the same person. It looks like it's a common teaching. But when it comes to advancement to higher levels of consciousness, he sees this person is at this stage and needs this kind of input. This person is at that stage, needs another kind of input. This person has worked in a past life over meditation for a long time and willing to move on to the next grade. The teaching of a perfect living master for us is customized for us. And we sometimes don't see that. We say, how did he say that to one person and that to another person? It looks like contradiction. But it is according to the package of karma, destiny, preparedness, readiness of each individual that the master handles it. So, master knows more about ourselves than we know ourselves. We don't realize it. We say, does the master understand what's going on in my mind? All kinds of questions come to us when we meet a master. Master understands us better than we understand ourselves, because we see very little of ourselves. We've forgotten what we were in childhood. Let's forget about the last life or previous lives. We know so little about ourselves. And Master looking at us and seeing several lifetimes at once, just by looking at us. So he's seeing something very different and knows more about us, what we need, when we need it. So, a man came to Great Master once and brought his young teenage daughter, or daughter just growing up. And he said, Master, my daughter wants to go to college and I want her to be married. And Great Master said, what's the difference between daughters and sons? They all are entitled to go to college. Send her to college. So he said, thank you, Master. They went away. Within 5 minutes, another father comes with his teenage daughter, almost the same case, and says, Master, my daughter wants to go to college and we want to get her married. He says, what have daughters to do with education? Their education is in the home. Get her married. I was present to see this. How can he give two different answers to two different people coming at the same time? But their karma is different. He can see much more that this person requires a different answer. People read letters. There's a books containing letters from the master, and a letter written to somebody else on one particular item they try to apply to themselves. It may be entirely intended for that person. How can you know that masters who say different things to different people based on their destinies applies to everybody? Of course, if it was merely a theoretical teaching, it would apply to everybody. Perfect living masters are not coming with any theoretical teaching. They are coming to take our souls, our real selves back home. That's their purpose, not to teach anything. Teaching is for our mind. They teach because the mind wants to be taught. That's all. Therefore, at a certain stage, all these things that are teaching, understanding, even meditation, becomes obsolete on the way to our true home. But that comes at a certain time. So, do not try to figure out your own progress by watching anybody else. You must watch your own progress yourself. Each person has an individual path that you are taking based upon your background, what you have gone through, what kind of different practices you have had. Most of the people who come to a perfect living master have had masters before, have had some experiences before. And that's what makes them ready for that. And therefore, all those experiences which are different from different people count towards what the next step is which the master indicates to them. So do not think there's a uniform rule for uniform answers. If there were, They could all be recorded in a book, and you just had to go read the book, what am I supposed to do? It doesn't work like that. There are no uniform answers, and therefore each person has to be guided according to what that person needs at that time. And one person may be told one thing, one another. We sometimes carry a very heavy load of stuff that's called guilt. I want to tell you a little bit about that, because most of us have done things which make us feel guilty. I think that's one of the biggest burden we carry. The guilt, I did something wrong, I'm so sorry, how can I do anything? And you carry that guilt and make your life impossible. You make your spiritual life difficult. That's why guilt should not be carried at all. It should be left behind. And where people believe in the law of karma, it's easy. That was my karma, it's over. Here people try to, psychologist people, others try to say, forget the past, live in the future, move on. They use these kind of words. But guilt is something that really holds us back. So there should be no feeling of guilt. What has happened has happened. You proceed with your meditation, cutting the past off and saying that what has happened has happened. You can't change it. If you could, of course, go back into the past and change it, and you'll find you can't change it. If you go back to the past, you'll still do the same thing and feel guilty again. Then you'll feel more guilty. Therefore, do not try to go back into that. Live in the present and the future. Live in something that's happening now. Past is gone. It was lived through. It was recorded. It was like that. It was supposed to be like that. Everything is supposed to be like that. You have to move on from there. So I am mentioning this because the guilt that we carry of doing things, that is an extra burden and comes in the way of meditation. So when you want to meditate and get something, clean your slate by saying, past is past, I am not going to go over it. I have to start now and move forward. All previous things, whatever they were, are past. If they were a payback, I have paid back. If I were to receive something, I have received that. It's over now. And now I start from a clean slate from today. I'm mentioning this because when I meet people and they explain to me their problems, I find that they're carrying a very huge burden of guilt with them, which is interfering in their meditation. So this is just a little tip for you that must push the past back. Do not live in the past. There was a Chinese philosopher who said that if we live in the past, we are always regretful, remorseful, full of guilt. If we live in the future, we are anxious. If you live in the present, you are at peace. And good advice, that you live in the present, live in the now, as they say, and enjoy what comes in front, and have faith that there is somebody who's going to take care of our future. Past is over. Goodbye past, future is being taken care of, I'm enjoying my present. If you are in that state, you will be the best meditators. The best meditation comes from that state of mind. And therefore, be just careful not to live in the past. A lot of people live in the past. Keep on remembering what happened. Oh, I could have done better. I could have changed that. Take it from me, you couldn't have done better. You did what you could do. You did what you had to do. Why are you trying to say you could have done it better? In any case, you're not going to get a second chance. You won't go back to do anything. Therefore, relieve your mind of this. I'm saying this because when you try to pull your attention inside, these are the kind of things that pull you out, more than simple attachments. Some people think we are attached to things, therefore we are pulled out. That's one thing. But living in the past pulls you even more. Those memories come back again and again, and they don't allow you to concentrate your attention within. So that's why it's a simple tip. Another tip. You must not put any pressure on yourself, on your head, on your body, on your spirit, on anything when meditating. It's not a forceful thing. It's not a hatha yoga. Hatha yoga is yoga of stubbornness. That's what it means. I hope you know that hatha yoga. Hatha means stubborn, to be stubborn. I will do it, no matter what. You never get anything by that. It is called this one, the yoga we're talking of, the sound current, Srut Shabd yoga, is called Sahaj yoga. Yoga of gentleness, relaxation. It's a relaxing system. When you want to meditate, relax. When I say sit behind the eyes, take a nice comfortable chair, if necessary a rocking chair. They've given me a rocking chair to help meditate myself, I guess. You have a very relaxing chair. Relax in it. The only requirement is to feel you are there. Not that you are stressed out how to put the attention, how to do this. The more stress you put, the more you confine yourself to the body. Therefore, do not stress yourself. And do not put force. I want to see what's going on. And you try to push through your head and get a headache. Meditation is supposed to take away headaches, not give you a headache. And people put so much strain on their head, they get a headache. Nor are you supposed to turn your physical eyes backwards to see what is inside. You're not going to see with the physical eyes anyway. So to put this stress, I'm trying to turn my eyes backward to see inside. People try these things. So I am telling you, they do not work. They have never worked. I tried all this stuff. It was useless. Therefore, just relax and be inside this nice chamber. It's an imaginative exercise. Imagination is pulling your attention there. If you imagine you are sitting on top of this building, you can feel you are there. Your attention is going there. It's the same thing. You imagine you are sitting inside your head, and just by imagining you are there in the center of this head, in this body, you're just up there. Imagining you're there, you can see things are in front of you, they're far away. These are expanding things there. Very relaxing. You could be relaxed in a few minutes just by sitting there. You can have experiences if you have no stress, if you have no thoughts of the past, if you have no attachments, you'll get an experience just by relaxing there and doing nothing else. I can just tell you that.
My dear Holy Family, wow, another godly coincidence. Master is talking about forget the past. What is over, what I was talking about. And now let's relax in God, let's relax in Master, like he said. Let's come up to the third eye center, forget the past, forget the future, and just relax in his arms, in his holy lap, and repeat the holy words with the tongue of thought, slowly at intervals. And I wish you the best meditation, and I hope to see you tomorrow for another holy day in Holy Father God. Thank you for coming, and thank you, Master. I'll keep Zoom on for 20 minutes.